No one really teaches you how money works when you're growing up. You just sort of figure it out, usually the hard way. And if I'm honest, I got a lot wrong. So my kids aren't going to learn it that way. After realizing how easy it was to stay stuck, I started thinking about something bigger because it's one thing me figuring this out now as an adult. But if I don't teach my kids properly, they'll end up exactly where I was and where I am now. And that is not something that I want for my kids. Not because I'm perfect, but because I've seen what happens when you don't understand money. And my kids end up struggling with money. That's on me for not teaching them correctly. And I know if you're about my age, or maybe younger, but you've got kids and you are thinking this way, you are going to resonate exactly with what I'm saying. So the first thing I'm going to teach them is that money isn't just there to be spent. That's how we all grow up. Get paid, you spend it, and you repeat. Everyone does this as young. Like, I was earning really good money at a really young age, and what did I have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. I was spending it all in a week, and I had nothing to show for it. But if I'd have learnt sooner about looking after money, I would be in a much better position than where I am now, and not fighting with loads of debt as we all are, and struggling with bills and things like that, and having to break your back at work and do extra overtime and things like that, just so you can have that little bit extra, bit of a buffer, a bit of comfort, so you can sort of feel like you're not just living to work or working to live, because we've all heard that saying. No one ever really explains what to do with money. It's definitely not taught at school. And I want my kids, to see it as a tool, something that gives you options and not something that will cause you stress. The second thing, just because you can buy something right now doesn't mean you should. That one alone would have saved me a lot of money. Even though I did hear a long time ago, someone told me that just because you can afford to buy something, you shouldn't buy it until you have double the amount of money to pay for it. So if you want to buy something and it's £1,000 and you saved up £1,000 or dollars if you're in the US, to us that's, I've got 1,000, I'll spend that 1,000. Now this guy was telling me that if you have 1,000, wait till you got 2,000, then spend it. You might even change your mind about spending it on what you originally wanted it for. And if you don't spend it, then you got 2,000 there. But if you do spend it, you've still got that 1,000. You've still got double the amount that what you would have had. Because if you spent it at 1,000, you'd have nothing. At least this time now, yes, you've knocked yourself back and you've made that purchase, but you've still got 1,000 sat there just in case you need it. Because, like, most of the time, when you're buying things, you're not buying them because you need them. You're just buying them in the moment. And it's usually when we get paid, everyone knows this, if you get paid monthly, that first week, you tell me where all that money's gone. You look me dead in the eye and you tell me where all your money's gone. Because I don't know where mine's gone. And I'm trying to be careful. And it just disappears. And it's not till towards the end of the month, when you're skint and you're thinking to yourself, I need to scrimp and save. Oh, magically, that money can really go a long way. Oh, but at the beginning of the month, when you think you're still scrimping and scraping, oh, it's magic how that money just disappears. And I'm not talking about your bill money. I'm talking about the money you've set aside after your bills as just throwaway money, which is usually fuel, because freaking hell, do you need a mortgage for fuel these days? Now, the third thing. Every time money comes in, a bit of it should be yours to keep. Not for your bills, not for your spending, yours. Even if it's a small amount. Because if you don't do that, you'll always have nothing left. So you should always aim. The best time actually is the moment you get paid, put some aside that you can't touch. And then when it comes to the end of the month, you've still got that there, but you don't need it. And then the next month comes along and you can put that in again. And by the end of the year, you're looking at a few grand. And, if you was saving up for a car, you've got that money. Or if you're not, you just keep building it. And at a younger age, that is a lot easier than it is when you get older. As you know, when you get older, it becomes a lot harder. You've got a lot more to pay for. So at a younger age, it's a lot easier. You've got no responsibilities, like no bills. What are you paying for? Maybe your car and maybe a phone. That's it. You're not paying proper bills, maybe a bit of board. But life is at its cheapest when you're younger. Now, this is a big one. Being broke shouldn't feel normal. But for a lot of us, me including, it does. It feels normal. It feels like everyone's just paying paycheck to paycheck. That's how we all live, paycheck to paycheck. And you wait and you're dying for that payday because you know you need the money. But you shouldn't be living like that. And I don't want that for my kids. I don't want them growing up thinking that stressing about money is just a normal part of life, because it really isn't. Now, I'm not sitting here and I'm not pretending that I've got it all figured out. I'm still learning everything by myself. I'm not a millionaire. Those people, yeah, they've got it figured out. I'm not at that point. I've got no clue, and I'm getting way too late in the game for that. But that's what the things that I have learned so far is what I need to teach them earlier on. So they're not starting in the position I was. I want them to at least start where I am now, and understanding that the position they are in when they start working and they've got that disposable income, that is the best time for them to start saving for the future. As hard and as stupid as that seems when you're at a young age, because you don't want to save for the future. You got no plans for the future. But if they save now, the future becomes a lot easier, and they will have expendable money, and they'll be in a much better position, especially if they start earning well. So at the end of the day, this isn't about becoming rich. It's about having choices, not being stuck, not stressing every month, and not feeling like you're constantly trying to catch up with what you've spent with bills and then other expenses that may creep up on top of you, such as car repairs, the fuel prices going up, food prices going up. You want to be prepared for every month, and that means saving a little bit aside, and it just gets harder as we get older, does it not? I know if you're listening to this and you're my age, you know it gets harder, and kids get more expensive. Definitely get more expensive. So the moment they're working, we need to be teaching them. And if you are younger and you're watching this, please take the advice. Don't chin it off like we all do. When we were younger, people would tell us, oh, you need to save a bit of money. No, really, please, save some money. Save as much money as you can. Do not just splash it all every month, every week, and have nothing left to show for it. Because when you get older and you can actually have the things that you want, if it be cars because of insurance and things like that, it'll be easier because you've got a load of money set aside and you won't be constantly worrying about bills. Now, this is why I've started putting a plan together. Not just talking about it, but like a proper plan. Because if I'm serious about changing things, it has to go further than just ideas. And I've made a video on that. So you will see that in the next video. So please, if you do relate to this video or have any other ideas to what we should teach our kids regarding money, please drop it in comments down below. But until the next video, I'll see you all again. Bye-bye.